What's up, everyone? Silas back again, sitting in the car, shooting a video, and talk to you guys because I've had something on my mind for a bit, but this is something that I've known for a while, and I think that other people might find it valuable too, is that, like, the idea of materialism, right? But it's more than that. It's the society that we live in, and everyone's like, society, but the way our country has been built and the way our lives have been lived since we were young is to be kind of materialistic, right? To be chasing something that is given to us by a company to give us, a dopamine rush. It kind of all leads back to chemicals in the brain, which is kind of one of my favorite things to talk about because it all really ties in with each other, within itself. And, the idea that material objects will fix our problems is completely, false. When you're buying materialistic things and you're buying these objects that are inanimate and really have no true inherent value except for the feeling that you get in the moment, then, it doesn't help you to peel back the layers of the onion, as they say, to really figure out what your issues are. And people often buy things or buy materialistic objects just to falsify that feeling of fulfillment. And they will, buy things and buy things and buy things thinking that it will solve their issues, but it really doesn't do any of that. It really just kind of adds more layers of, let's just say, a blockage against the issue, you know what I mean? It's to use to numb the problem. It's like hoarding. It's like eating too much. It's like all of those things, any inherently largely, a largely unhealthy habit is used to block out our own issues or block out issues that we see within ourselves. Sometimes that can be self-hatred, that can be, not wanting to deal with your day-to-day problems, not wanting to handle responsibility. Like there's a lot of things that we do in our day-to-day lives that can be used to block that out. I'm not to say that it's not to say that I'm not guilty of it, because I'm very much, just as human as everyone else. I have my own vices and my own things that I go to help block out my own issues that I see within myself. I am not perfect, but it is something that I have noticed and something that I have felt too, is that, like materialism in a way is nihilism. It is the belief in nothing. It's the belief that the next object or the next thing or the next, food or drug or whatever it may be, because it's all material. It's really all material, is going to solve your problem, and it's not going to solve the problem. So when you take away materialism and when you take away all of these things, because materialism is a distraction, that is inherently what it is. It's a distraction and it's a number. It is, the saying of retail therapy. Retail therapy is just numbing your issue, right? It's numbing the feeling of, loneliness or lack of achievement, lack of drive, things that we inherently, like nowadays in humanity, like we lack all of those things because of the rise of, things like social media, things like, just easy, quick dopamine rushes that are instant gratifications. We don't really need to work hard to get rewarded for things anymore. The way our society is built is it's easy to live. It's easy to survive. And when you make it easy to survive, it gives people nothing to live for. So when you have nothing to live for, when you're not able to live for survival, you are living for pleasure. And when you live too much for pleasure, you get too comfortable. And that's when people start to buy too many things or eat too much junk food or just be straight off their path. So the way I recommend countering this is put yourself in a fight or flight mode. Don't give yourself an option Put yourself in an area where it hurts, and then you can kind of see where you're going. Growth through suffering, as they say. And I'm going to be doing another video on that very soon because it's one of my favorite topics. But, I'm kind of just sitting in a dimly lit car rambling to you guys about this. So I guess I don't, I'm not like an expert. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. But it's what I've seen and it's what my opinions are. I think that people will chase after certain things just to get a sense of fulfillment, like impulse buying and all that. It's just like, oh, well, this feels good in the moment, so I'm going to do it. But at the same time, when you're doing that and you're buying those things, you're expunging your resources on something that is a short-term win and a long-term loss, right? Because if you're spending $100 on clothes at a designer store, you're probably only buying 2 or 3 articles of clothing, and you're going to lose interest in them quick, and sometimes people have their favorite thing, people like their materials, people are about different things in their lives, but there is a line that has to be drawn, I believe, between, is this a waste, or is this something that I'm actually going to use every single day? And that's what I believe is most important, is if you're spending your resources and you're expunging your time and energy on something, make sure it is going to be something that you use every day and not something that is just going to take up space and go to waste, I guess that's all I really got to say about it. I might break it down in another video here too, because this is kind of an extensive topic that is pretty solid and is also kind of running rampant in our society right now with, the rise of people's need to feel like they have to, be the best of the best, when the fact of the matter is that there's billions of people on this planet and only a select few have really ever gotten to where they want to be. Most of the time, most of our lives are going to be pretty mundane until the day we're put in the ground, which is an unfortunate truth, but it's a truth that we kind of all have to swallow. But when you can start to peel the layers of the onion back, like I said earlier, and you can really look at yourself and introspect correctly, you're going to grow to be a better person. That's all I really got to say.